So our great product team will go ahead and take these ideas and add them to the software if they get enough votes. So that's the idea station. I would suggest if you have any ideas, you go there. Now, if we go back to, yeah, if Phil can come up with a single idea, perhaps. To go back, we also have the forums where we have all of these great buttons. If you click on, I don't know, they just changed it, design and documentation. This is where you can go for help. So if I'm ignoring your emails, or if I didn't get your emails because I go to my junk filter or whatever, not intentionally, sometimes that just happens. If you go to the forums, I personally guarantee you will get an answer from somebody within the first 3 weeks that you posted. Now, we're supposed to get back to people within the first 2 hours and ideally have a solution within the first 4. Now, it doesn't always happen that way, but our CEO actually goes on here and answers questions himself and will beat me with a whip if I don't get those numbers down. So we need to make sure that we have them answered. So if you do have a question and for some reason I'm not responding, or if you don't even want to email me, this is the place to go. We have a ton of Autodesk employees that look at it every day. We have me who babysits it every day and literally sends out 2 emails each day saying, here's the list of open questions and here's the list of ones that we've answered but have more questions on them. Go figure it out. And we have a bunch of good customers on there that answer them as well. So if you do need some help and support, that's another great resource for you. I feel that you're all to a point that you can ask reasonable questions now. So now you're allowed to use the forums. Okay, so with that, let's start our slideshow. Yay! So today, let's see if we have any questions from the peanut gallery out there. Boop. Peanut gallery, where are you? Questions. I lost my questions. Oh, crap.
Did you include a PowerPoint in your presentation today?
Not in my download, but on the more : files area on the meetup page, it exists.
Sure.
There's the questions. Let me expand this. No questions. Okay, perfect. How do you open Fusion? Cap'n, from the beginning. We're going to cover drawings and renderings today. So drawings in Fusion is taking your 3D model and turning it into a 2D drawing. And renderings are those super sweet, awesome things we've been doing. So it's going to be wonderful. Really easy class today. We should be all pretty happy and get out of here relatively early. Oh, very important today that you don't ask or say in Autodesk or Autodesk does or AutoCAD. We don't want to mention AutoCAD because it's a 2D tool that's very powerful. Fusion, on the other hand, has been around for 1.5 years, so it doesn't quite have all the features of AutoCAD. So we're not going to tie those two together. So we're just going to be happy with the limited 2D tools that Fusion has. Limited is the key word.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Kick him out. He doesn't have his pass. All right. So everybody that isn't on the GoToWebinar that wants to be, go on there. Does anybody not have the files uploaded yet?
I'm working on the drawings one. You have a USB drive?
I do. Right there. I might not have them uploaded. I don't know. So upload the files if you don't have them. Now let's discuss homework 5. And then after that, we'll look at 2D drawings and 3D geometry, rendering exercises, and homework 6. I think I defined homework. Oh, I did. Okay, good. So my leaders again failing me, like always. Dan, are you out there? I see you. I see you. You're not paying attention, though. There we go. All right, he's paying attention. Good. Alex at the front desk for all of you sitting out in the front that want to do this. Ethan, I don't think he's in this room either. That's a shame. Okay, and Drew told me today that he cannot make the class, so I'm going to revoke his license. But if you do have questions, this is so easy. I'm confident that we don't even need anybody leading the pack today. So go download the crap from Meetup for the PowerPoint slide, and also from Meetup you can get the link to these files, or you can ask me for one of these flash drives. Thank you. When you unzip the flash drive, there are going to be 2 files inside of it, both .f3ds. Oh no, there's 3 files. And in addition to the F3D files, you're going to have 1 JPEG file. So upload at least the 2 F3D files to your Class 6 folder. Not too difficult. We've done this 5 times already. I'm confident that we can do that. So let's take a look at homework 5. Before we do, I'm going to bring up my little sheet here and let me know who I marked as incomplete when you are not incomplete. I'm fixing some. Hold on. You lost audio? Your audio connection has been lost. Attempting to reconnect. Okay, it'll reconnect here shortly, maybe. It's my shoddy internet. Oh, you know why? Look, I'm connected to crappy-ass Autodesk internet. I need to remember that from now on. So it'll go down briefly.
It's yellow.
Yellow is you got a C.
Aha, yeah.
Now,
that joint.
Now, while this is happening, I claim that you got a C, but it turns out that my instructions were faulty, and that the video actually has all of the joints like intermingle. Like I was thinking everyone should have limits to their joints so it worked properly, but apparently my explanation of having them work like they actually should was not accurate. But if you followed the video, they could overlap. So I have to give all of you who got a C an A now. Not that it matters, but...
No. I got red somewhere. I don't know why I got it.
I don't know why you have a red. Why did you do that?
I don't know. It's in cheap.
I gave you a red for your unfinished acts last week because you hate me. You didn't finish it, and it's not in your kitchen.
How do you know it's not in my kitchen?
I asked you, and you said it could be, and I said, is it? And you said, well, no. That's the exact reason why. I'll give you a yellow. How about that?
What does yellow mean?
It's passing.
Thank you. I spent 10 hours. I'm not joking.
I know. It was pretty intricate. Okay, who else is missing?
You gave me a red last week, but I uploaded paper towel board.
When did you upload it?
The Tuesday previous.
Oh, the Tuesday. Oh, that's nice.
So,
Like after class?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not passing around.
I have it. I can show you.
I believe you.
And then this week I didn't do the 4 links, but I did this. I don't know if this can count as a yellow.
Yeah, I'll give you a. Oh boy, and it's animated.
It's animated.
Oh man.
It's a mixture of yellow and red.
Orange and orange will make up a whole new category. Okay.
I did want to ask you about motion linking and context sets a little bit.
Okay.
It seems like I've been having issues with context sets with the Revolut gears.
They're not staying in contact,
They
or
spin, but like you can see, it's not like a fluid spinning. If I turn off the contact sets, they'll spin nice and fast. But
it's probably some funky calculation that it's doing that isn't really up to speed. But yeah, that's what I'm guessing is what's happening.
So, should the file drawings take a long time to upload?
They should not. No, they're not very big. So
Okay, so I just didn't do the last.
what's that?
I should re-download it from the website first.
Well, just try and re-upload it. I think.
This is the 4th.
Where are we at? Okay.
Could I get a homework for last week? I just uploaded it right now.
Oh my God! I'll give you a yellow.
So it's the wrong speed now.
Wait, where am I at? Damn it! I don't know. I'm just filling in boxes. It's good enough.
None of these people have done this.
Huh?
None of these people have done this. You master was completely unforgiving. You assigned it, you had to get it to them, give it to you had to complete it, it had to work correctly, and if it didn't, you didn't get credit for it, directed you credit. That was it.
I'm very forgiving. Since this is the first class, what's that? Ethan, I'll give you a green for your homework. Is this it for the class? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Huh? There's only 17 in class today. That is terrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Please send it
14.
over
There's
here.
14 in here and there's only 17 total? Boy, that's terrible. All right, well anyways, that's fine. So create our linkage. Some of you went above and beyond and not only created it in Fusion, but 3D printed it as well. Ah, very nice. I like that. That's the way you get bonus points in this class in case you're worried about failing, which most of you should be. That's not
I
true.
think we got bonus points was figuring out what program enhancements.
Program enhancements help as well, so long as you submit them to the idea station.
With the comments about how great the presenters are.
Mostly how great the presenters are is what gets it to
It's
you.
important to add that to whatever I do.
Mm-hmm. So I think everybody, well actually I think just about everybody from class last week submitted the homework, which is awesome. So good job for all of you. Maybe you've earned pizza and bears for next week. Not next week, the week after. Final class. I need to keep you coming for something.
I need kosher pizza, bro.
Kosher pizza?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
It's half-assed pizza.
Extra shell.
Extra shellfish?
I'll have you order that one.
Really?
Sure, if you want. So my drawing exercise. Again, we're going to go through two things today, drawings and renderings. So the first thing we're going to do is turn this sweet knife that we've been working on so diligently into a 2D drawing. And then we're going to take the same sweet knife and make it look fancy. Instead of just being gray and boring, it'll be orange, I guess, and kind of boring. So that's what we're going to go through. So before we get started, any last questions? Oh boy. That's my lamp from today's webinar. You like that?
That was a cocoon. Autodesk butterflies.
You like that? That would be good. Thank you. It's a beautiful lamp, whoever said that. I did. Oh, good job, man. All right. So let's check on questions one last time. Cap and Jack, something to say? Barb can't be here in person, but she's in here in spirit, and that's something. I don't know what that is, but it's something. Homework 4 was turned in. Kosher is missing. The wonder of pork and okay, thank you. Arg, thank you, Cap'n. So who is that? Gabe. Gabe, let me write this down on my paper. Okay, so now that I have all of that taken care of, we're going to open up our drawings file first. So for those of you who,
That's the one I can't do.
we're going to click the upload button in case you haven't done it. You're going to select files and browse to wherever the heck it is you saved them. Click open and then click upload. And when you do that, it's going to upload your files. Now here's a neat little test for Fusion. What happens when you upload something that already has the same name? Well, I guess we'll find out.
What should happen or what does?
Well, what should happen and what does happen are very different things. But and see how fast it's going? That's how fast it should, or how slow it should go, or how long it should take.
It stops halfway through.
You're wrong, dude. So rendering is uploaded and drawings is just about complete. Doesn't Billy look angry over there, Dan? Look how angry he is. He's a Fusion hater.
No, I got it.
See, he took his headphones off. Okay. So I'm going to scroll down to the drawing file, and I'm going to right-click and choose Open.
8 instead of 7.
8 instead of 7, because that's the kind of guy I am. I don't live by no man's rules. No? Okay.
Living right up there on the edge. Right?
Does anybody else have really bad allergies right now? Itchy eyes? No? Stuffy nose? Want to die a little bit?
I got, air purifier.
Ooh, that's nice. That's a good idea.
Claritin.
Claritin. All right, so here's the knife. Does everyone have the knife open? Yes, James? Okay, so we're going to go on. So how do we make a drawing from our 3D model? It seems like magic, right? Wow, watching YouTube videos while in class. Total F. No, okay, so anyways, so to create a 2D drawing, you go to the File command, and you choose New Drawing from Design. Bloop. See that? Pretty impressive. There's supposed to be a pop-up that shows up somewhere, but I don't see it on my screen. So I'm just going to press Enter. Where was what?
It's under File.
Under the little File drop-down thing. And then it says,
The little one inside it.
yeah.
You just press OK.
Yep, then just press OK. And then you'll get to this screen, which is pretty amazing.
So this is class 6.
And remember, let's keep in mind that we're using the 3 times rule again today. If we go through the same thing 3 times and you don't get it, you're out. Out. Not out of the class, you're just stuck behind. So does everybody have this open? Awesome. So what we're going to do first is just click and place our knife. Good? Good. And then we're going to click, I'm going to move my view properties over here and click OK. So now we have that funny little view of the knife right on our screen. Pretty easy, right? So then if you go through the document that I posted up there, the PDF for you to learn from, there's a number of other little tidbits that are helpful, I assume, but we're not going to talk about them. We're just going to learn how to keep doing this because 2D drawings are so easy and nobody needs them anymore because everybody wants 3D. I know that's a lie. That's just to rattle Phil up to make him angry.
James, times 2, how do I get there? Because
The little file, this thing up in the top left corner, click on that and then choose New Drawing from Design. And then press Enter.
It's checked off, but it doesn't look right. It just says full assembly.
Yep.
You say OK.
Yeah, you say OK to full assembly. Or Enter will automatically click OK for you. All right. All right. Okay, so moving on. So now we're going to add other views to our model. So we're going to go to Views, Projected Views. So there's a few ways that you could go about doing this, but the coolest way is to click on this thing, and then, depending on how you drag it, look at that. Pretty neat, right? So if you drag it to the right, it automatically gives you that view. Ah, pretty sweet. I don't work in Macs, so get a PC. That's not nice. I'm sorry.
How do you end the command?
What's that? How do you end it?
Enter.
So projected view, click, drag it over where you want, click once, and then press Enter. And then you'll have your knife in that other view. Pretty impressive, right?
Back in the day, I got an A in a course
In what class was that?
in graphite. Actually,
Graphite, what's that?
Actually drawing.
Moving on, under views again, let's try project views again. We'll select that same drawing, and when we pull down, look at that other amazing view it gives us. Pretty awesome. And we press Enter after clicking. And now we have 3 views. Why is my computer running so very slowly? My battery's about to die. Can I plug my computer in, please? Oh, I'm going to just do it back here. I remember now. Sounds safe. It's all crackle, crackle, crackle. All right. So does everyone have the 3 views? No.
Don't worry about it.
But don't worry about it? Are you close to having 3 views? It still can't upload?
I still can't.
Yours is called 08 modeling, not drawing. Is it working? If it works, that's good. If not, you probably want to come get this stick and download them off of it, because some of them were jacked up and some of them weren't. Sorry, Captain Sparrow.
Okay. I have modeling.
You could use the other one and just open that and do a drawing from it if you have it uploaded.
I have modeling open, but I don't have this 2D view.
Click on the file and then new drawing. New drawing from design. All right, so moving on. What else do we have to do here? We can move our crap around. So if we click on this thing, you see that little gray square in there? You can click on the gray square, and then you can move your knife anywhere you want it. So we want this one in like the top right-hand corner like that. And once you click again, you can press escape, and there it is. So you can feel free to click these little boxes and move it around anywhere you want to give you as much space as you need.
Is there a way to turn them?
What's that?
Is there a way to turn them? Or twist
What do you
them?
mean? Like
if you
in a
hit the
different
lower
view?
left one, if I wanted to turn that up, twist it upside down?
I don't think so. And also, keep in mind, super limited 2D drawing capabilities. More is coming. Oh, what happens in AutoCAD, please? I have no idea. Okay. So that's good. So apparently we moved the other one to the left bottom. So did everybody move their 2 drawings? See, isn't this super easy? I told you how easy this is. This is great. Well, so far, right? So next we're going to click on Views, Base View. Ooh. And so I told you there's other ways to get different orientations. You can click on the orientation that you want and change it to top, bottom, left, right, whatever. We're going to go with northeast, and it's going to give us this sweet little angled view of our knife. And then I'm just going to slap that somewhere in the center of my picture. Now before clicking OK, well, I guess I could click OK, but I guess
How do you get to view property?
cancel that. So if I click on the drop down and say base view under views,
Gotcha.
bless you. The orientation, we just change it to northeast, knee maybe, and just slap that in the middle and click OK.
How did you get that rendered view?
How did what?
How do you get it rendered view?
Rendered view?
Yeah, because mine is just in wireframe line drawing view.
Mine's in line too.
Oh, sorry.
What? So how do you get it in wire or rendered view? When it's moving it around on the screen, it shows up as a rendered model, and then when you click it, it makes it a little line drawing. And if you have the noise on, it goes when you click the button. So there's that. Yeah, a whole lot of information that we're passing over. And then, we're going to edit this. So this knife is too small for us. Remember, what's the movie? Crocodile Dundee? And he's like, there you go. That's not a knife, right? So we're gonna make this a knife by clicking it, and then we're going to edit this thing.
Edit view.
So if, whoa, not like that. Geez, you click it.
Right click.
Oh boy. Right click and edit view, and you can change the scale from 1 to 2 to 1 to 1. Wow, that was violent. And eventually it will get much bigger, and then you can close. Wait,
Not let you punch in your own scale, because I was trying to get the 2 to 1.
I don't think so.
There is a 2 to 1. There is a 2 to 1?
I don't know if it will or not. It might have a custom scale, but
There's 2 to 1, right under 1 to 100.
Oh, down.
Yeah, so if you scroll down, it goes all sorts of crazy, but it doesn't look like there's a custom input there for you.
No, 148? How do you do residential?
I guess you don't. So now we all have a big knife in there. Does everyone have a big knife?
Yes.
Do we have any questions while we're waiting for others? How did you edit view? So to edit view, you click on it, right click and choose edit view. And from there you can change your scale.
Where are those lines to?
All right, so I guess that's good for questions. No, the northeast thing. Oh, the northeast thing. If you click on the little drop down, you choose base view, and you change the orientation to northeast, and that gives you the northeast thing. How did you get two other views? Did you walk away, Mr. D? Because you should have followed that. We did do it twice after all. But
On a Mac, you have a hard time doing
how do you do it on a Mac then?
it. You can right click on it and then do the repeat base view. And then wherever you place that, it gives you the opportunity to change.
There you go. If you're on a Mac, you right click on it and choose repeat base view, and then you change your orientation to whatever view it is that you want, such as right for the one over to the right. So that's how you do it. You crazy Mac users. It's like we can't even make our program consistent between machines for you. That's a shame. But that just teaches you to have a Mac. That'll teach you. All right, so moving on. So we're able to also edit this stuff. I don't know which one we really want to edit, but how about the right projected view? So if we click on this, it says double click anywhere on the selected boundary to activate it. Look at that. If you left click twice, double click with your left mouse button, it brings up the view properties because right clicking might have just been too much work. So you also have options for hidden lines. We have off from the parent, on, or off altogether. So if we turn on, it will now give us our view, our hidden lines. Let me zoom in a little bit to see if that's a little bit clearer that way. So zooming in there, let me go back and turn off my hidden lines, and you'll see eventually, I don't know why this is going so slowly, see all of those hidden lines that are now turned off. So now if we turn them on, look at all those hidden lines. So you can see the rest of the blade and all the other fancy shenanigans going on in there. So however detailed you want these drawings to be, that's what it does, just for you. So now let's go to the bottom view and double click on it. And you can turn on the tangent edges from off to full length. And when you do that, eventually it will update and give you those as well. You could play around with it and choose shortened also and see what that drawing looks like, which is exactly the same. Or just leave it at full length, giving you more detailed lines for your drawing. I don't know about you, but I like the view up here the best with the dashed lines and all of the stuff going on. Who likes that the best? No one? Just me? All right. Okay, well, I think that's reasonable. How many of you still work with 2D drawings? When you draw? 1, 2, 3 people, 4 people.
Not when I draw.
Machining aspects.
When I'm machining, yeah.
Sure.
Do you feel like a homeless person working in 2D? That's what I feel like.
And then you got a manual mill.
Okay.
We need it for FDA regulated documents, like, you do a 3D drawing, you just need a 2D paperwork for.
Just for like the paper trail? Yeah.
So we do this thing.
Okay. I used to do that for like government work stuff too, like a lot of like 2D stuff. Okay. So 2D is still relevant for all of you using AutoCAD. Keep paying for it. Covers half of our profits. That's great. So now, if everybody has all of this set up, all fancy-like, we're going to get into actual dimensioning and putting text on our document. So again, the software is a little bit limited, but it does have pretty much everything you need to get a dimensioned, texted document. Texted? That's the word, texted. So how do we do that? Let's start with annotations. So if you want to slap text on there, annotations would be this big A. So our text, click on the big A, and then you can just click here and drag a little text box. So I guess it's kind of like PowerPoint. Does everybody work in PowerPoint all day long like I have to? Yeah, it's awful. And then you can name this thing. And so what is this? The northeast isometric, I think. Any isometric view. And there you have it. Pretty impressive, right? Text.
You just do press enter.
Yeah, just press enter. Once you're done, click away from it, whatever you want. Click somewhere else on the screen. Yeah, it might give you another line. That's a good learning experience, though. If you click enter, then you're like, oh crap, you have to learn to click backspace too. Problem solving.
Google Slides instead of PowerPoint.
Google what? Google Slides, is it superior to PowerPoint?
Online, like you who develop Fusion, because it's an online solution and collaborative, really would appreciate an online collaborative PowerPoint.
If only Google would do more of a job in infiltrating the market so that companies actually use it. That's the key. Because I'm not allowed to give my boss those.
If you could create a template in Google Slides, they would.
Ah,
I think you can.
there you go.
It's very difficult.
They need an idea station to give these ideas to.
Sadly, they don't. They're just a stupid technology company.
Right? Aren't they like right across the
They are, they're probably-
parking lot? Yeah, they might be in this room.
It's all,
Yeah.
all a big joke.
All right.
Google's awesome.
So next, you can go ahead and add text to whatever part you want. So it tells us to choose repeat text by right-clicking and drawing our box and saying front view. Doing the same thing over here, right-clicking, repeat text, and say right view. And the same thing over here. Right-click, oh boy, right-click, repeat text. And what's this guy, a top view? Bottom view. Bottom view. So just in case you had a lot of trouble with using the text annotation command, now you've practiced it 4 times, so I think you have it mastered. They tell you, don't you have to do something like 21 times a day for some ridiculous amount of time to make it a habit? Well, see, that's something I would expect you to know, Phil. You should practice this text command that often, is what I'm saying. That's not entirely true. So let's see if there's any questions out here.
Is it possible to make the text larger?
That's a good question. Hold on. How do you type? Okay. So moving on. Can you make the text larger? That's a good question. If you zoom in on it, it gets larger. I was trying to do that earlier.
Solution.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to go with no. I feel like you have to be able to change the font size, right?
Better.
Well, not that I know of, but maybe it will tell us later on how we can do that. I told you this thing's very limited.
Only if you were to erase a folder.
All right, well anyways, we're going to say no, you can't make it any bigger, so that's what we're going with.
So should I submit that as an idea?
Yeah, absolutely.
Text on the drawings.
Yeah.
Font size, color.
Maybe they'll have an answer. Maybe you should post it on the forum first, and once they say no, we can't do that, then make it an idea.
I do that for extra credit.
Yeah, sure.
What happens when we get extra credit?
Nothing. I mean, this is a pass-fail course. You miss 2 classes, or 3 classes, no matter how much extra credit you have, you can't pass. So there's that. All right, so moving on. Ready? Okay. We're going to click on this guy. It's the leader. So it's like a little arrow with an A on it. It's next to the other A we clicked. If we scroll in here, we can choose this point, and look at that. Now we can type what this is. It looks like a blade. Steel blade. So you don't want to touch that. You'll get cut. You don't like that. Nobody wants cut.
You can annotate just danger.
Danger, like a flashing red danger. We have that installed in our drawings, but not changing the text size. So does everybody have that marked as a steel blade?
No, mine says danger when rubbing.
Well, that would...
Is it, do you have to press, can you press enter to enter text? Or does
You
it have
can't
to
press
be
enter to enter
control
text.
enter?
Control enter? Sure, control enter. I don't know. I didn't know that worked.
It's-
I just
no,
click
enter's
away
not
from the
working.
screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, click away from the text box. So what if we don't like this fancy little curved arrow? What if we want it to be 90 degrees? Well, you can click on the line and then click and drag this thing over to where you want it. Pretty fancy, right? And then once you get it where you want, click again, and there it is. Bam! So you can edit the arrow shape, just not the size of your text. Everybody edit the arrow shape? Pretty good? I told you this is super easy, right? Has anybody had any trouble yet?
Yes.
Oh.
I had trouble.
Oh.
So when you're moving your views.
So when I'm moving my
and
views,
So you go to you project your views.
I'm projecting my views,
And
yes.
this just worked a second ago. It doesn't work now. And I go, you pick the parent, then you drag it over, and then you get your radial thing to pop up, your little radial menu, and you go to the green OK, and it disappears.
I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm not allowed to leave my workstation. So if one of the other helpers come to my classroom, I'm sure they will help you. If Ethan or Dan want to come in here and help people, I'm sure that they would be happy to provide help. Dan is not willing to leave, so we're going to move on.
Here.
We're going to move on. Okay.
How does the move command work?
We can look at that after class. I swear.
It's just like,
All right.
if you, oh my gosh.
So we're going to take a look at dimensioning. So this is the actual important crap for this. Dimensioning, like linear dimensions, you click on this guy and you scroll down, and then you can choose different points like this, and it would define your dimension. Or if you do it nicely, I don't know where you would click it. I don't know. Here, and it draws a line across. And when you do that, ugh,
Mine has a little yellow arrow. Exclamation.
the width is 0.78 for our drawing. So let me Control Z that and show it one more time. If I do my linear dimension, here on the outside, see where that little triangle shows up? If you click on that, then you have a yellow line and you draw it straight across to another triangle when it shows up. You click that and you can move this guy up and down and choose 0.78. So now we know how thick this knife is. Very easy. What's that? Like a knife.
How does the move command work? I can't move it.
I'm sorry, we didn't get there yet. I'm not moving anything yet.
Why did the
Focus.
yellowest dimension?
It sounds like you did something wrong. That would be my
You,
guess. I don't know.
You started out in space and drew into the object that you're trying to highlight. You're supposed to click on the object you're trying to highlight and drag out to where you want to come.
That was helpful. Why don't you walk around the class and help people?
I like
Yeah, needed this
Oh, your
last
leg
week.
hurts. Okay. All right, so moving on. So what about an align dimension? So the next one over, if you click on that, you can do the same thing on the blade. And when you do that, you can see our blade is 8.3. Pretty fancy, aligned with that little slanted line. Who needs AutoCAD? You have this. Yeah, that's right. You're not allowed to talk about it, but I am. Boom. Nope, not allowed to talk about it, just me. Next, let's go ahead and look at the angular dimension. And we're going to click in here and click over here. And you can define whatever angle it is that you want to define. And to move these values, it's just the same as the other one. You can highlight it and then click on the little box and define where you want it to go. Pretty simple, right? Yes, James. Okay, well that's good. So that's our angular dimension. Moving on, radial dimension. We can go through every feature in the drawing interface because it's so limited. Yes, this is the most complained about interface in Fusion, but such is life. Something has to be lacking, right? Just something. Oh boy, listen to this class, just jab after jab. So radial dimension, if we click on that, man, this is tough. I click on this circle, boom, radial dimensioned, done. You all just got radial dimensioned. And I think that's all I'm going to show you for that. But why are you coughing still? You were dying last week, you're dying this week.
You're still
If I get SARS, I'm going to be pissed. So this 0.78, what if we don't want it to be 0.78? What if we want it to be 0.8? We can edit that text. By double clicking on it. Oh boy. I thought it was by double clicking on it. Maybe I should read. It does say that.
Works for Max.
Highlighting it and typing in 0.8 and pressing and not enter. God, don't press enter. Jeez, that would be the end.
Oh wait.
Don't do that. Just click away from it. Now our dimension is 0.8. Well, it's not really 0.8.
If you type 0.3, would it change it to 0.3?
Heck yeah, it would. Because you're smarter than the program. It's giving you that control. It knows that you know better. Because maybe it's just a little bit off. Maybe you want to make it just so.
What is there a way of changing the format? For instance, you have 2 decimal places of precision.
I thought we... No. No. So what if we don't want 0.8? Let's double click that and just delete it. And click away from the screen. Boom, like magic. 0.78 is back. Pretty impressive, right? If everybody outside of the classroom is impressed, raise your hand. Yeah, you're impressed. Okay. Did everybody get their magic number to show up again?
Yes.
Good.
Although mine's different than yours. And I think we're measuring the exact same spot.
I don't think we are. So I've been ignoring all of your questions to this point because we only have so much to go through. Yes, you can change a number of these things, but you're not going to learn unless you play on your own or flip the page. So that's how it is. Does everybody have their 0.78 returned? Just delete and click away from it, and it will give you the accurate dimension instead of what you typed in there. What's that? To 2 decimal places. Okay, so moving on. From the file drop down, bloop. Here we have a magical drawing settings button. You should be pretty happy about this, Phil.
Magical.
Not only can we change our font type, so if you click on the little file button to get there, you can choose drawing settings. No. So if you go down to Frutiger, that's the official Autodesk text. Except none of it. Did I tell you this story? we decided that we were going to make Frutiger our official text. So all of our PowerPoints and all of our presentations had to be in Frutiger. But it's a text that you have to pay for through Microsoft. So none of our resellers had it. So all of our PowerPoints were garbage to them. So I thought that was a fun thing to do.
There's no open source version.
No, well, I don't know. So annotation text height, you can change to just a few values. But Phil, look. Yeah. So all sorts of accuracy there for both angular and linear dimensions. And sheet size. Again, I don't know what the heck's going on with 2D. Apparently there's different types of sheets. So you can change that crap too. Right, size of your paper, but I don't know which one means which.
It doubles. So A is 8.5 by 11. The next one up is
17
the first
by
dimension. And the next one up
11.
is the other dimension.
Oh,
And so
wow.
on and so forth.
Well, isn't that interesting? Maybe I'll just keep working in 3D. All right.
And then there's European sizes.
So you can cut a big sheet into 2 sheets.
So now you can see my text has changed size. My decimal places are all whacked out, and everything looks amazing the way that Phil would want it to look. He's a very accurate guy.
In your architecture, you might get away with 2 decimal places. If you do anything else,
One of my favorite things back in the FEA world was when we would have our legend for min and max stress. Let's say it went from 0 to something, and that something would be like 32,683.3319267 psi. And I'm like, oh, really? 7 decimal places of stress. Okay. I'm sure we're that accurate when we're usually like 100% off, but that's fine.
I think it's the stress meter that's capable, a stress gauge that's capable of that.
Well,
That'd be very expensive.
yeah, it would. So the last thing we're going to look at is, two more things. One is filling in this text box. So you would think that the only way to do it would be by adding the text through annotations like we did previously. And if you think that, you are correct. That is how you did it. Oh, burn! That was pretty good, right? That was pretty good, right? Come on, we all enjoyed that.
That's actually not true. I just.
Oh, you can double click it too?
If you double click the
Aw.
box is highlighted, you can fill in all the fields.
Boo.
There we go.
Proof it on the Mac.
Except on a Mac.
Oh, whoa.
That's not true. On a Mac you can do it.
Go on.
Jesus.
Just double.
There we go. And there's all the boxes.
That's it.
No. No extra credit.
More and more yellow.
You ruined my fun. Stop ruining my day. James. Done. And then there's one more thing I want to click. And of course, the one thing I want to click is the only thing I really care about, the bill of materials, which apparently is going right here, which I can then move if I so desire. Because who doesn't love a bill of materials? Whoa! Who went there? So let me show you my thing. Where is my thing? Creations by James. Let me show you my drawing if I have it out there. There it is. My big garden. So I modeled my garden because I have what we call deer, and they eat everything because they're jerks. So I modeled my garden to get rid of all of the deer eating my stuff. And I dimensioned it, and now I have my giant garden built in my yard. And I used my bill of materials to know exactly how many 2x4s I needed to buy, and how many 4x4s I needed to buy, and exactly how big each piece of wood needed to be. So fusion is extremely useful. Now you ask, James, how many times did you screw up even though you still had this drawing in front of you? And I'd say countless times. Then you'd say, okay, well, how many of these measurements actually came out to be accurate? And I'll say just about none of them. But the real world and the world of Fusion don't necessarily correspond together all the time. But in theory, all of these things would add up to make a beautifully square garden, unlike mine, which is a little wonky. But that's okay. So any questions on drawings? The most limited, and to my defense, or in my defense, Class 1, I told you that drawings were extremely limited and that you can't do too much with them just yet. So do we have any questions on 2D drawings?
What more would you want to do?
That's what I'm saying. Who thinks that there's things that we would want to do? Hold on, we have a question.
How do you resize the parts list?
How do you resize the parts list? That's a good question. You can move it. Does that help?
You could do right-click, edit view, and then you could do.
And then you can what?
You can scale it.
You can actually scale this thing?
I think so.
Right-click, edit view. Mine does not pop up. So potentially you could right-click and edit view it. I don't know.
How did you do the double click on the box on the bottom? I missed that.
Down on the bottom?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Select view.
Just so make sure you're not like clicking on anything else, like escape out a few times and hover over it and just double click on it and it will bring up this box for you to fill in. As for changing the size of the bomb, I don't know. Edit view doesn't seem to do much for me, so you might be stuck with your one size fits all bomb. You can do the balloon thing though. Does that count for anything? So really, what features, if we had 3 features we needed to add to 2D drawing view here, what would it be?
Right now, I can't get the section view to work, so why am I
I don't know. But we can look at it afterwards.
Yeah.
So assuming section view works, what would we like to add to it?
Were you able to make other tables besides the bomb? Can't add any tables. Maybe like a custom table for revisions.
Okay, custom
and,
tables.
Different size text.
More than the
So
2 options that we have.
Usual text options and the ability to make tables. And I mean, I don't see what you wouldn't be able to do on there that you can do on other programs.
Well, that's reasonable then.
Made by another company that's name I won't mention.
Okay, reasonable. All right, well that's good to know.
Not much. I mean, you don't really use much of that.
That's what I was thinking. It's kind of, I don't know. I like to think it's going away, but it's still a long ways from being completely gone, if ever.
That's like one that we would do.
Okay.
So, I mean,
So you have the
pretty much
balloons,
do
you
that
have
on
the
there,
text.
But you can't do like the table and
So the table and a little bit of like ease of use maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But aside from that, you can pretty much do that.
Awesome.
Close.
Give or take. All right, good. Any other input on drawings? No. That was your last chance, so.
Oh, we didn't do balloons, did we?
We didn't, but they're just one more click.
Move it. No, you
Do I need an electric fence transformer for your garden? You have another one. I don't think I need an electric fence transformer. So my garden that I had shown there has kind of like a built-in fence around it, and so unless the deer can jump 8 feet and land inside of my dirt, I think they're boned. So I feel like I'm going to win this year.
Grandpa.
What's that?
Nature finds a way.
Nature does find a well. I don't know if I'm going to make it through the winter, but I feel like this summer I'll be okay. Could do that.
What about moving?
Grow year round.
Grow all kinds of things.
Well,
Like
let's not get into that.
Can you show how to move a view? I haven't been able to do that.
Move a view, you click on it, then you click on the gray box, the little center gray box, and then you move it.
Click.
Plus minus 100%. Yeah, give or take, depending on who's doing the analysis. I was much more accurate, of course. All right, so I'm going to close this one down, and I'm going to open up my rendering. Boy, that took a lot longer than I thought it would.
Wait, so we're closing it?
Yep, we're closing it. So everybody close that stuff.
Not save it?
Yeah, I don't care. You can save it if you want. Wood?
Huh?
They'll eat wood?
No, they just,
Oh.
they permanent crops.
I know how that is.
Okay, let's render.
So now we're going to render. So I'm going to go open up my 07 rendering option and choose open. So the other day, not the other day, but a couple months ago, after St. Patrick's Day, the day after St. Patrick's Day, I woke up and was walking the dogs, and I looked at the side of my house, and dogs were all going crazy. And there was a dead deer laying right by the side of my house, which was pretty gross, and I thought, I don't know what I did last night. I was a little blacked out, so I don't remember. But I didn't remember killing any deer, but apparently there was a dead deer. So I call the animal people, animal control, and I say, yo, there's a dead deer in my yard. How about you come get it? And they say, call these people and they'll pick it up. So just let them know. So we call them and say, hey, there's a dead deer in my yard. And they're like, oh, great, we'll come get it. Followed by a call back to me like 2 minutes later saying, oh, we don't do that. But if you drag the dead deer to the side of the road, then we'll pick it up. So those 50 or 60 feet that I had to drag the thing was too much for them. So I tied a rope to this gross-ass bloody dead deer and drug the thing to the side of the road. And then I looked and I said, well, there's no cars coming, so I drug it to the other side of the road and left it in my neighbor's yard. And that's my story.
You weren't like innocent? You weren't like psyched?
No, I wasn't excited about this dead deer.
You were like,
Find it that it's already dead, the venison is.
Oh, no, I'm not eating that thing. Who knows what happened to it? I assumed it had like some like deer STD or something and just like dropped over. We don't know what happened.
Where do you live? Like what town?
Churchill?
Churchill?
Why? Did you find a dead deer dropped in your yard or something?
No, I did not. Did you get a shady sign?
side of the street.
Right in the
Yeah.
parking lot?
Really? You found a dead deer?
No.
Oh. All right, so moving on, we're going to start with renderings. So we should all be pretty darn good at renderings by now. I mean, I've had you do them in your homework assignments pretty often, I would say. Does everybody think they're an expert in renderings? Oh. If you would have said yes, I would have just said, let's go drink across the street or something. But
Yes.
oh, see, all of a sudden we're experts. Okay.
Who's, wait, who's buying?
Uncle Carl, duh. That's what he does. No, that's not nice. Uncle Carl, you don't do that. We spend our money wisely. Okay. See, remember this is recorded. So, lucky for us, we don't have to do any modeling, sculpting, drawing, or anything on this one. We just go to the easiest environment alive, which is hovering or clicking on the model and choosing render. And when we do that, it automatically renders it for us. I mean, it's all in whatever material this is, steel maybe. But that's okay. It's at least rendered a little bit. So what are we going to do here? We're pretty much just going to apply materials to all the different parts, work with applying to bodies and faces, browse through some of the materials that we have to work with, play with the environments and where the sun's shining and things like that, and then have a finished product. So super easy because we've done it like 5 times in our homework, for those of you who actually followed the instructions most of the time. So let's go ahead and launch our library of materials or our appearances. So the ball made up of 3 colors. If we click on that, it's going to bring up our appearances, maybe. Maybe, maybe not. Uh-oh. What did I do? Yeah.
Escape.
In theory, it will.
In theory, this will show up. So let's give it a second.
Semi-polished.
Yeah, a lot of semi-polished.
I want to make my utility knife out of water.
Here, oh, no, that's questions. Where is it? Well, this might be difficult if I don't have my, huh. Does anybody see where my appearances thing is? Where my environments? Well, I guess I'll just close this and see what happens. When all else fails, just shut it down. Open Fusion back up. See what happens. I don't know. They decided that looks cool, and so that's one of our hero images for our software.
Sparks coming out of it, but that's kind of concerning to me.
I don't know. Do you think it's cool looking?
Yeah.
Well, then job done. I don't really know what it is.
It looks to me like a man go for winding wire road.
That's what we'll go with then.
Looks like it's on Firefly.
There we go. Much better. So my appearances box showed up this time, so that's nice. And you can see that we have just all sorts of different stuff up here in the box. So if you haven't caught on to this by now, all of these materials listed in this box are being used in your model or have recently been used in your model. So it makes it easy for you to screw up and apply a material and then apply the proper material back if you had overwritten it. So it just keeps like a recent history of what's been used and what's being used in your model. So let's go ahead and apply some materials. First, we're going to go with plastic. Plastic. And you see we have different types of plastic. Okay, show of hands, honestly, who's browsed through many of these different materials? That's pretty good. Now, show of hands, be honest, who's done the least amount of effort possible when doing the rendering? Just one of you? Okay, two of you? All right.
It's a time issue.
It's a time issue. It's always a time issue, right?
I couldn't put tea in my picture. I didn't know where tea
Well,
was.
there's no T option. That would be a custom material. But okay, so that's good. It's good that you've played around with this. So let's go through and we're going to choose an opaque and we're going to choose yellow, I think. Glossy yellow. Not just regular yellow. Glossy yellow. And I'm going to click and I'll just drag it onto here. Blop. That looks like Steeler yellow. Maybe a little bit brighter than that. Oh, another funny side story. So I told you about how much we love Twitter at Autodesk now, right? So I make all of these very insightful tweets about the software or thanking customers or God knows what. Yesterday, of course, was May the 4th be with you day, because why wouldn't that be the case? And so I just rendered up a X-Wing pilot helmet and dropped some colors on it and made it pretty and posted up there. I had 21 retweets and something like 46 favorites. I usually get like 3 retweets. It's very discouraging. So I suggest all of you retweet my other posts instead. It would make me feel better.
What's the name we have on Twitter?
Which one? For the company?
The company.
At ADSK Fusion 360. Here, this means so much because it's all that matters in the world. I'll do it on here. At ADSK Fusion 360 or at Mr. Simulation Rocks. That's me.
ADSK is you?
No, ADSK is our corporate handle for Fusion. It's sometimes me, but not usually. That's me.
Mr. Simulation.
Yeah, that's right. You all go out on there and start tweeting like mad towards us, and then we'll all be so happy. Thanks.
So how specifically, I only get my plastic each color.
Why did you not get, okay, so let me,
I have it selected. But
you click and drag it on. Click.
oh, Jesus.
There you go. All right, so now let's change the color of this stuff. Well, I guess we're not changing the color of it. Well, let's go ahead and change some of the other stuff. So, more materials. If you click back on the folder for opaque, it slaps the folder back shut. Same thing for plastics. So now we're going to go ahead and find some rubber material for the rubber grip that we're going to be holding on to. And this reminds me of my simulation days of when we had 3 types of cement as a material property. So in FEA, you're supposed to be trying to get things as realistic as possible. We had 3 types of cement: high strength, fairly high strength, and low strength. So I always thought that was funny. Fairly high strength concrete. Huh? I don't know what that is. So anyway, nope, just fairly high strength. So let's click on other. And here we see we have all sorts of options. I like environment myself: asphalt, granite, sand. But what we're going with is rubber. Nice soft rubber, because we want soft rubber on our hand. We want it to form to our hand when we're cutting stuff with our knife. And we can click and drag, boop, and drop it right there. So if I rotate this around, look at that. That looks like some nice soft rubber, doesn't it? Yes.
Did you do the other side yellow as well?
The other side is not yellow, but since it's already in our little thing, why are you stealing my thunder here? Since we're getting our thunder stolen, you can go ahead and rotate it around and say, oh no, it's not up there. You can click right from this little, in the design menu, and drag it straight to that face. And there it's done. See, always, man, I don't know why you do that. That's okay. All right, so next, what are we going to go with? Plastic, more plastic. Textured. And how could you pass up on textured polka, where we can click and drag? Boop. And when you do that, that's pretty cool looking, isn't it? Look at those little dots on there. Can you see those? Plastic, textured, and polka. Kind of like that music. German, maybe? Polish? Some sort of polka? Austrian, Hungary, something? I don't know. I figure they're all the same to me. I don't know. What's that? Do they make pierogies? I like them. So I don't like the black polka. I want it to be something prettier. So I'm going to, in my little tree here, click, right-click, and edit. And when I do that, I'm going to scroll this little bar over to blue, and then click in here. And look at that. Now I have pretty sweet blue plastic. Pretty good? So for those of you who are like, it doesn't have the color I want, it's so limited, any of these materials, you're able to go in and slap whatever custom material color you want on there. I know, it's outstanding. You're all thrilled, I can tell.
I'm going to retweet
This is the only thing I
Which
really
one?
like better.
What's that?
This is the only thing I really like
Retweet
better
it.
than Rhino.
It's the only thing you like?
No, it's like one of the main things.
Oh, absolutely. Isn't it beautiful?
This is awesome.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. The rendering is like a friggin' game changer compared to a lot of packages.
So I hit edit,
If you hit edit, yep,
and I move the slider.
you can move the slider, and then you click down here as to what flavor of color you want. So as I click, you see how it's changing colors on my screen depending on where I have it selected? Pretty good, right? So if we click on Advanced, in that same edit menu, we see all sorts of stuff show up. Like the name of it. We could call this James Colored Plastic Polka from Poland. And click Apply. So now when we hover over it, now we know it's James Colored Plastic Polka from Poland. To get to that, you go to Plastic, Textured, and then Polka.
The trouble is the window is so tiny, you have to really use it for the sliders.
Something else. So more information. Oh, it crashed? I don't believe that. You lie. If I right-click on it again and choose Edit, you're wrong. You probably just print screened and posted that over it.
I'm not sending it or
If we go into the advanced settings a little bit more, you see that we have things like translucency, if you want to be able to see through it a little bit, or emissivity. If you check on that, you can add illuminance. So if you want it to be bright like a light bulb, you can make it illuminate. Is that right? Illuminate? Sure.
Does that light other things in the rendering?
It should light other things in the rendering. So to actually do that very well, to get the light thing, because everybody likes their parts lighting up, you click on the drop down and choose Legacy Appearance Library. Go down to like plastics and choose one of these LEDs, like yellow LED. And if I drop it on, let's say my razor blade for now, right click and edit, advanced. I said advanced, damn it. Edit, advanced, well, mine disappeared, but it's going to have a luminance option there, which you can jack up to make it brighter or lighter. So if you have a light bulb.
Okay, but you could make the thing bright, but I've seen renderings where it makes the object bright, but doesn't actually shine light on adjacent objects.
I guess you would have to play with that to find out. Self-learning exercise. I honestly don't know. I don't recall from any of the light bulbs that I've put together.
In the real world, a bright light bulb would shine light on everything in the room.
Bright light bulb would shine it. You're right.
In rendering world, you can make a very bright light bulb that doesn't shine light on anything else.
That's accurate. You're correct. All right, so I'm going back to my other material, and one that I want to show you a little bit more would be the wood. So let me just drop that on my blade again. I don't know why it's not showing up. That's a little bit scary. And if I right click and edit that and choose advanced, I think my program's kind of jacked up today. I'm going to close this to see if that helps. Open again. Well, at least it saved those changes.
So we're going to have a wooden blade.
For now. There we go, wooden. If I right click on that and edit, now my properties actually show up. And when I click advanced, you're going to see that the wood isn't necessarily a color, but it is an image. And if you click on that image, you can change things like the position and the offset, or you can actually change the image altogether. So one use of this that I worked with a customer on was he wanted a brick wall. And he didn't want to design every brick and have them brick colored. He just wanted to drop brick color on all of it. And so we imported an image of a little piece of brick wall, and then it plastered the brick wall with bricks. So it was very easy and fast, yet it still looked like an actual brick wall. And then you can either, to get the bends around it, you can either apply it on the other wall, or you can modify the offsets here and how it repeats to change the style of the brick as well. So if you do happen to have something else that you want to have loaded on there that isn't wood, or that is some other textured pattern, you can just upload the image of it right here, and off you go.
If you were to change that, would Bamboo Dark disappear and be replaced with that, or does it create a new one?
It'll be a new material. So you have your own custom material then.
Yeah, that crashed on me again. It was whenever I was adjusting the texture scale.
I'm sorry.
But,
Don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no texture scale.
You could submit that to the forums, though, as this is an issue. You should solve it.
How specifically did you get the menu for changing the properties? You open the...
You right-click on the part to change the properties. You right-click and choose Edit. You can change stuff like the rotation and the scale, and when you do that, it doesn't crash on me. But like for something like wood, that would change like the grain of the wood. So it's kind of like zooming in and out and rotating it around.
When I click on image, it's not letting me
Then when you click on advanced, you get to more properties that you can change, like the reflectance and the emissivity. Emissivity? Yeah. And then if you click on the image, you should be able to get to what we have shown.
Now, when you click on that image, does it open in a, is there a dialog?
No.
It doesn't work.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
No, yours doesn't work either.
It doesn't work either.
I see. So a future we will is,
If you go to, whoa, edit image doesn't work either.
Really nice ones out of some rainforest steamed product.
so what did you do to upload that thing for your customer?
That's a heck of a question. What did I do?
Maybe make wooden guns and sell them. That's not such a good idea. Wooden shoe molds. That wouldn't be good.
So I think it has to have the little source listed by it, like with steel, and then you can select the source file, and you can browse to whatever image you want.
You don't click on the thing that says. You don't click on the thing that says image. Click on the
No, you click on the thing that says source.
It's completely obvious.
Yeah, right.
Not.
And then when you drop that material on it, geez, mine's really struggling today. It will change that material for you.
It will. We want it to.
So let's try and edit this material and see if it actually edits mine. Oh, it does. Good. So they want us to make it orange, much like what we had done previously. So if you just go ahead and right-click on the yellow, you notice it doesn't change the name of it automatically. It just changes the color. But hopefully when we go back and click on this and apply it to something else, it still saves those yellows. So a little bit confusing there, as now we have two plastic glossy yellows. One is orange and one is actually yellow. So I would suggest if you fiddle with the colors, you should probably change the name of your material as well, so that you can keep it straight which one's being applied where.
When you have plastic or metal, does that have any characteristic beyond just the appearance?
I think it has a few properties in there, but we don't do any FEA yet, so it doesn't matter. I think at the end of the month we're going to have simple linear stress in it, so then it will have material properties that actually affect things. That's loud. All right, blah, blah, blah. Just changing things. This is all just fancy changing things, but okay. So let's do the blade and try and make it metal. So instead of a wooden blade, that's a very sharp, splintery wood. Let's go ahead and choose something that we like. Stainless seems expensive. Let's just choose steel. What kind of steel do you want to use?
Diamond plate.
Diamond plate? Let's go with steel satin. Click and drop. And we have it listed here. Again, you can go right-click and edit. And instead of clicking through here, you can actually type in the numbers as well for the whatever it's called, RBG? RB, what is it?
Oh no. Is that an RGB?
RGB, RGB scale. So if you have the numbers for something specific, again, like if you have branding colors that you have to use, you could type those in.
Try 304.
304? 304 stainless? It is. All right, so we have that in there. Now what if we want some pretty picture on here? Because the way to make it look really cool is to steal stuff that other people have already done. Right. You can only be so creative with colors. So if you use a decal, you click on this little pretty portrait and select the surface that you want it applied to. And over here's our decal menu. And if you select the image, you have to click on this little picture again, and it will bring it up. And if you go to the Autodesk logo.jpg that we unzipped from today's class files, you can now have it applied to your model. So you see right now mine's kind of jacked up, but if I just grab the little rotation thing around and click and move it to where I want it, we now have a beautifully Autodesk marketed knife. You can also change all of the things like the scale and the size and all of that good stuff in this menu. So if I rotate this around, we now have our beautifully Autodesk branded knife. So whatever image you want to throw up there, you can feel free to do that. I did. I swear I did.
But there were only 2 things on.
There was only 2 on there? Well, that's a shame. I must not have given it to you. It's an image. It's really not too difficult.
It's just a JPEG, right?
It's a JPEG, yeah.
Use any.
You don't have any? I really didn't include it?
Nope.
Well,
That's okay.
You can put any other
yeah,
images.
I think if you click on it, you can figure it out.
I'll put a nice daffodil on my knife.
There you go. Any JPEG will work. A daffodil is a beautiful thing. It's your knife. Make it the way you want it.
Picture of U.S. currency.
So let's take a look. Well, let me see if question people have any questions. Come on, we're not doing ray tracing yet.
Ray gun?
I'm sorry to hear about your cousin that crushed. Barb says rendering gallery is minimized. That was a while ago. I should have listened to her. Can you increase the iterations in ray tracing? That's different. See, look, Andrew says the logo was included, so he got it. Nobody else did, but he did, so that's all that matters. Thank you. No, you can't increase the iterations in the ray tracing, but if you just let it go, it just keeps iterating, so I'm not quite sure what the question is there. So before we go into ray tracing, let's go ahead and click on this little lamp. So a little lamp obviously represents environment. So if we click on that, we're now entering the environment, where we can change things like our style. So typically for a nice picture, I usually go with sharp highlights. It just seems to give the prettiest picture. But depending on what materials you use or what you're looking for, some of these other environments might help. Sometimes when you work with glass, if you're using a colored glass like the blues or the greens, they don't really come through with the sharp highlights. But if you change to maybe one of the warm or cool lighting scenarios, the colors of them will come through a little bit more. So if you want it to look more like colored glass instead of just transparent, you could change something like that. You can change to plaza, and if you click through these different things, you can see how the colors change slightly throughout the models. But again, by default, I usually stick with sharp highlights. In addition, you can change things like the exposure to make it a little brighter or a little brighter or a little darker, or just put it back to 0 so it's right in the middle, or rotation. So the rotation is like, where is our light source coming from? Thank you. What was that?
There's time-lapse photography with it.
Time-lapse photography, right. Right, so if you move it around, like that looks goofy to me. I don't know why I would take a picture of it looking like that, but maybe like this it looks okay. So you can change which way your reflection and which way the light is hitting it. Also, if you want the ground shadow or not, you can check or uncheck these boxes. So the shadow and the reflection are there if you want them. So some people like them, like it's reflecting off a surface. Some people don't want them. Alternately, or if you don't have those options, or if you have them and they're not showing up, it probably means that down in the display settings, your effects don't have the ground plane, shadow, and reflection checked. So there's different areas that you can turn this off and on at, because during your modeling process, it might get in the way as well. So make sure that you have these turned on in the effects if you want to have them show up. And the last option in here is the background color. So you can either choose from the environment based on the style that you have, or you can use a custom color. So if you click that radio button and then that box, you can make the custom color whatever you want it to be. Woo! And there you have that beautiful colored background.
Whoa, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, right?
That's different.
We also have camera settings. So in our last release, we came out with these camera settings. So you can choose perspective view, orthographic view, or perspective with ortho faces. So any of you who like really fancy images, this is what you would be doing for different views. Plus you can change the focal length, which is really just kind of, this isn't exactly a great example for this, but you can focus on an object and make everything else look blurry in the background, or vice versa. So it gets a more...
That's not focal length.
You should have f-stop.
What's that? That's
What you're
field?
describing is depth of field, not focal.
Well, that's pretty...
Focal length
Okay.
is like the difference between a fisheye lens and...
Okay, there you go. So like this. Bloop, bloop. And then depth of field, if you check that, you are correct. You can change the blur, etc. But that's when ray tracing is turned on. And to turn ray tracing on, you click the little teapot, because that makes sense. But I don't want depth of field on there, nor do I want focal length on there, because I'm not very good at it. So, enable ray tracing. If you click on the teapot, you have three options. One is quick, which will just give you a quick and dirty view of your model, normal, or advanced. I usually go with advanced because it's going to give me the prettiest picture, and it's going to start iterating on my image. So you can see how many iterations it's going through, and typically I find that for most models, somewhere between 60 and 80 iterations will give you about as good of an image as you're going to get. Maybe 100, but normally it doesn't have to go all that high. Once you get higher than that, it might make it a little bit better, but the amount of time you're waiting versus the improvement that you get in the image isn't necessarily worth it. So find out which orientation you want this at and let it run on advanced for a little while, and off you go to having a beautiful image. So while it's doing that, you can go ahead and click on the capture image option and click OK, and you can save as these three different file formats. So knife, and click save, and it will save those images for you. The last option in here is cloud rendering. So I believe that TechShop has some sort of number of cloud credits. So to do cloud rendering, it does really high-end rendering on the cloud, taking advantage of whatever Amazon machines they have out there on their servers. But it costs you 10 cloud credits, which I think is the equivalent of $1, to do one of these renderings, or something like that. I've never actually done it because I'm pretty happy with the renderings I get from Fusion, but some people with really high-end, fancy-looking cars or something like that do this and get a lot of really great images.
You're working on an awesome fast machine.
Or if you aren't working on an awesome fast machine, it's also helpful. If you're interested in the cloud rendering or rendering in general, on May 19th, we're having our rendering guy do a webinar. So I think it's at 4 o'clock. So if you can make it, sign up for it, and he'll teach you all about rendering, cloud rendering, and all of the great things. What's that?
Where could we sign up?
If you want to sign up for it, go to that community site again. So fusion360.autodesk.com/community, and there's something called events, and let me disable this so that something runs in any reasonable fashion. And right here you'll see render in the cloud and Fusion 360. So if you click on that, you can sign up for the event.
Okay, so wait a minute. So I guess I've been cloud rendering, like
This
I
thing?
thought that's what we were supposed to do.
Okay.
But I guess at what point is this like now rendered? Like without you?
No, if you click on this, it enables ray tracing, which is like it gives you the more photorealistic image.
Okay.
So it's rendered with the materials applied to it, but for a better, crisper, prettier image, this is what you do.
Okay. And then at some point you just say pause or close?
Yeah, you can either pause, if you pause it, enable pause, it'll pause it, and then you can snap your pictures of it however you want it.
Okay.
But every time you rotate it around, it's going to restart what you were doing because it has to re-render it at that new angle.
Okay. So then you'd want us to take pictures of this, right?
So then we would want you to take pictures of it. So with that was a good transition. So since I would want you to take pictures of it, you could either position it the way you want, or ahead of time, you could get it into different views. And I think we talked about this before, where you could get named views and right-click and choose New Named View. Now let's just call this Custom 1 and press Enter. And you see that we have 4 views by default that are custom, or that are there. And then any view that you want to save, you can save as a custom view. So let's just throw another one in there. And we'll call it Custom 2, because I'm creative like that. And now, when you go to that A360 page, so from the data panel, if we go to A360, it's going to automatically be rendering these for you so that every one of your views that you have saved, you can just go to A360 and it will always have those rendered for you. So you don't have to come back in here and re-render them. It just kind of saves you that time. So it might be a good practice for you to create the views that you like so that you can always go and grab that imagery. Or if you don't care about the imagery, don't do it. So the last-ish thing I want to show you from the rendering stuff is how do you then share all of your great work with everybody else in the world? Because the only thing that matters is posting your model to the Fusion Gallery and tweeting about it. So how do you do that? You click on this little drop down and you choose share, and you can choose these different things. You could publish it straight to GrabCAD if you wanted to share out your geometry, but nobody wants to do that, right? Or you can choose share to Fusion 360 Gallery. And you have to make sure it's saved. And don't go through with this. I don't want friggin' 20 versions of this knife up there because then I have to go disapprove them, and that's no good. So you choose New Project, unless it's an existing project in which you can tack it onto. And you can go through the various images that you've saved, go through and give it a project title, choose what category it is, description, everything else, and you can choose what products you used. So if you happen to be silly and use something other than Fusion 360, you could list that as well. And then when you're done, you can click this Publish button, but don't do that now, and you can publish it to the gallery.
Where did you do this? I'm sorry.
So to get to that, you click on the little File drop-down, Share, and then Fusion 360 Gallery.
Where's the Fusion 360 Gallery?
That's also on the community page. So here, all of these images, go to the gallery, and we have a ton of different images that people have created. Some guy made a drone, some sort of box, a sweet robot, some CNC part. This thing's pretty awesome. It's a marble machine clock that just has marbles that go down this track and keeps track of all the minutes and stuff. Pretty awesome. A pretty nice 3D printed skull. Just all sorts of beautiful things that people have put together. A crazy boat. And whatever you're making, all of you, could be up there next. And if it's good enough, it might be selected as our model of the month. Rumor has it, I know the guy who picks the model of the month, so maybe you'd have an edge if it was pretty good. I'm just saying. So with that, let me flip this thing up. Homework number 6. go to one of my favorite sites, grabcad.com, and find a model that you're interested in. I don't care what it is. I hope you all pick something different because that will be more interesting to look at.
Well,
You could make your own if you so desire, I guess. I won't know any better. I'm not actually going to go to GrabCAD and make sure it was up there. Upload the file to the Homework 6 folder. And I don't care what you're doing with it, with the modeling side of things. If you want to model it, change it, whatever. But take it into 2D and save a 2D model of it with it dimensioned. So add some dimensions, fill out the text box, give me a bill of materials, and just slap some dimensions on there. And I'll be pretty happy because it'll show that you opened up the model in 2D and played around with it. Followed by the rendering environment. Go in, render it, apply some materials, make it look pretty, use ray tracing and make it look nice, snap a couple of pictures, and then upload it to the Fusion 360 gallery. If it's not on the gallery, it doesn't count. Why doesn't it count? Because that's all that matters to my boss. So.
Same gallery project. Same, we should all do it the same.
Right, so if you have the drawing, you could do like a picture of that, like a print screen or whatever. And then if you're saving pictures from the rendered environment, when you go and create, like say upload to the gallery, you can upload all of those pictures to the same place. So I don't want 3 different projects of your same design. I want one with all of those files included. And then when I say, boy, Twitter world, look at this great design somebody did, they'll see all of this great stuff, including renderings and 2D drawings and whatever else you want to put up there. Pictures of my dogs or who knows.
Okay, so the one file we get from GrabCAD
One file from GrabCAD,
to the two-dimensional.
two-dimensional,
And then render it.
Render it.
Upload all 3?
Upload it to the gallery, yep.
All 3 to the gallery?
Sure. You can upload the CAD model, the 2D drawing, and the rendered image or images.
All encapsulated in a single folder, or?
All in the gallery project.
Okay.
So as you click through there, you'll see the different options to upload files.
Can you show us how to take pictures?
Sure. So to take pictures, here in Fusion, you can just click on Capture Image, and then you're good to go. You can change the size of the image, or if you have something like Snagit you could use, or if you have something like Microsoft Paint, I think you could use that by doing a screen capture and then dumping like a print screen, like function print screen, and then dumping that into Microsoft Paint and editing it. However you want to do this, it's up to you. Alt print screen? Mine's function. I'm just saying, that's what it is. Function.
Print
See?
screen prints the entire screen. All print screen prints the active window.
It prints the active window. There we go. Alt print screen.
So, what did you say to upload?
To the gallery,
Yeah.
upload the model that you downloaded. It'll probably be like a step file or a solid or a .f3d file or something like that. The 2D drawing, an image of that, and a rendered image, or more than one rendered image if you so desire.
You have to make an account on GrabCAD to download the file.
Yes. Other questions, comments, concerns? What's that? Any other questions from the people outside the room? The logo is included was the last comment, so it sounds like that is the end. So any other questions?
Is it possible to rename a folder
Possible to rename a folder?
in my homework 7?
I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe. Let's give it a try.
I think not yet.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You can-
Maybe an A360, but
You can change the names of like files.